at going to a drive-through, and I think it was Compton with puke in the gang. Oh, we used to. Okay, those wannabe gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
The people who talk real tough. Well,
Yeah.
one day we had a guy. I don't remember his name, but he was, Mr. Talk Tough. One day, a car drives up to his house. The legendary late great Johnny Puke. I don't actually know his real last name. I never actually asked. We just always call him Johnny Puke for reasons too gross to mention. Uh, and he gets out and he goes over to get in. What? Get in. And they took him to Compton. I was in the back seat, and after about 15 minutes, you heard this. I want to go back. I want to go back home. This hardcore gangster. And I remember we went to a Jack in the Box. I'm sorry. It was a Burger King at Compton, and then 10 minutes after we left, there was a shootout. 10 minutes. Literally, we were listening to Puke and I. For some reason, we liked listening to radio news because we didn't have any MP3 or CD players in the car, and we don't listen to mainstream radio because. So we were just like, we'll just put on a news channel. We'll listen to that. That's whatever. And there's a shootout at the Compton. Oh shit. But yeah, he came back. This guy came back as a rockabilly. Like the next day, he had remade himself as a rockabilly.
Too scared shitless of the real ghetto.
Yes. So he made. So yeah.
Now what passes as a real ghetto here, and yeah, it is pretty shitty. We were driving through there to get to a laser show because we were all fucking tripping. I was on a lot of fucking acid at the time. I was fucked out of my skull. And everyone decides they want beer. And they're all giving me this order where it's all this fucking high class top shelf beer.
Yes,
I'm supposed to go into this bar.
Do that too. Yes, I'm a Euro snob.
So I get the orders and I walk in. Turns out the fucker driving was too trash to realize that he had taken me to a gang bar in the middle of the bad part of Pittsburgh.
Wait a minute. There's a good part of Pittsburgh?
No, we're talking like the elite bad, the one everyone talks about.
Okay, I was gonna say I've never heard anything nice about Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So, and everyone's there trying to out hard each other, and I'm like one of two white people there. The only other white person in the bar was the bartender. And there's a guy limping there saying that he's going to get the guy that fucking shot him in the fucking foot. And he's got this cast on. I'm like, oh, fuck. Keep in mind, I'm fucking tripping my balls off with this. And the only people that were cool with me were over in this one corner over there, They're like, whatever. The other people were trying to fucking act all out hard each other in front of me. So that way I'd be all intimidated. And I kind of was because I was fucking tripped out of my mind in a gang bar. So years later, the way I processed it was, okay, all the people trying to act hard were the wannabes, and the cool people in the back were the actual gang members. Because every time I met someone that was an actual gang member, they were always like, please, thank you, and real polite and shit. Because they realized they were out in public, and, there was nothing they had to fucking prove, or everyone else wants to prove something,
Yes.
But I get up to the bar and everyone's doing all this shit. There's all this noise. And then all of a sudden everything got quiet as I hit the bar and I went to make my order, and I was just extremely self-conscious. The entire order I was given was just left my brain. I was like, I'd like 6 Mickeys. And then everyone went back about their business, thinking I was cool enough to drink ghetto beer. So I went out to Mickey.
I like Mickey. I mean, yes, I prefer, British and German, and I like Heineken too, but, as much as I prefer that, I like Mickey's and shit. The only thing I have to say is if you try to give me light beer, I will kill you.
Well, I went up back out in the Mickey's. They're like, dude, why the fuck did you get Mickey's? I asked for this. Like, just fucking drive. I'm damn lucky I'm alive. Let's get the fuck out of here. You took me to a gang bar, motherfucker.
I was always really, really able to get along with the gang members, and I know some people. I'm gonna sound funny, but I'm pretty sure we're in some sort of mafia. I'm pretty sure because they weren't in gangs, but you knew there was some shady activity. I mean, you never asked about it, obviously, but they were, pretty damn, they were actually very, nice people, but they were pretty sadistic too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just funny that I never had a problem with any gang members. It was always the wannabe gang members, but I had friends in like actual gangs who were just like
I was saying,
yeah,
I never had any problems with any fucking real gang members. Like, true, they're running their hustle, whatever, kind of people. The wannabes always fucking hated me because, especially after my fucking party years and shit, because I had this fucking hardcore fucking reputation long after. And then, like, I remember I was walking down the street and they're hearing someone kid saying, I really don't like that guy. Let's fucking, mug him. And the other guy's like, no, you really don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that. And I'm listening to them whisper behind me, while they're trying to get their shit together. And I'm just tightening my knuckles and relaxing my shoulders, getting ready to fucking do whatever the hell I got to. And like, the other kids actually talked the fucking one guy that fucking didn't like me because, I was making fun of the fact of the Philadelphia gang, which was fucking just a bunch of posers. Some poser from Philly came to my hometown and thought because he was from Philly, he would be worshipped. And that was basically the Philadelphia gang. And, it's just a bunch of kids trying, like they sat there and tried to fucking extort people driving down, like, this one road in town. And it's like, dude, what the fuck do you think you're doing? They're just gonna fucking drive away. You ain't strapped. You ain't got nothing to fucking actually intimidate people with. What the fuck? And
I know what. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't even have numbers. It was like 3 or 4 kids. Ooh, wow. And when the cops showed up, they fucking ran. So, whatever. So yeah, the guy didn't like me because it was known that I mocked the fucking Philadelphia gang, and the other kids talked sense, and it was saying you don't want to fuck with him. And one day, I heard from my landlord at the time that one of the kids was there trying to break into my apartment through the fucking air conditioner, and my landlord looked at him and said, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You're in for a big surprise when you go in there. I don't fuck with that guy. No one fucks with that guy. Hell, he can skip out on 6 months worth of rent and I still won't say a damn word to him. Do not fuck with him.
Yeah, that's kind of how Puke was treated because he had connections and he was a guy who was never back down from a fight. But I mean, like I said, I never had any problem with any of the. I mean, I had friends who were, like I said, and they liked me as someone who, I mean, pretty sick, morbid sense of humor. And
back when I was working fucking McDonald's third shift, a couple gang members came in, and asked for shit, and they were mindful of the fucking midnight menu. And they actually tipped me. It was like the only time I fucking got tipped at McDonald's was whenever I was fucking serving gang members.
I mean, some of the gang members we would discuss stories with, but it was never like a bragging thing. It was like, sitting around just as friends talking, and he's like, well, I remember one time we had to, he was talking about, being involved in a fucking bank robbery, but it wasn't talking about bragging. It was the most I've never heard someone discuss something so matter of fact about why he shot a guy once because he moved, but it was so matter of fact. It was just like, you know, it wasn't. It was at no point did I feel fear because I knew it wasn't going to do anything for me. It was just like, well, you know, he said it in a way that was so logical. Well, yeah, of course he would do that. But I remember my friends from the not the poser part of New York. He's from upstate New York.
Okay.
And upstate New York has some pretty interesting gangs, and the people from like New York City, not the Puerto Ricans, because the Puerto Ricans are awesome, or the people from Massachusetts, or the people from Pennsylvania would come to the hardcore shows and yeah, we're fucking from NYC, and we're hardcore, and we're gonna fight the cops, and we're gonna get somebody. 3 hours later, their teeth were on the floor because they said it to the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they were warned beforehand. Look, don't say this to this guy, that guy, that guy. They're nice people, but if you say the wrong thing to them, you will end up in a body bag. They did not listen. Thankfully, no one was dead, but you know,
Couple teeth were missing.
I mean, it wasn't like they went looking for a fight. It wasn't like they were like, let's see if we can beat up some posers. It was just, you need to be taught a lesson.
Hell, there were a couple fights because, you know, I'm hanging out with a couple of my buddies at, you know, this fucking die-hole bar, and someone's trying to act hardcore, and somewhere along the line, they heard the wrong name to say, which was one of my buddies. You don't mention that name trying to act hardcore. It is not something you want to say in public. And we fucking beat the shit out of the guy just for saying the fucking name. You know, there are certain names you don't, I mean, one of my nicknames you can't fucking say in certain places or else you'll fucking get the shit beat out of you because I intimidated the shit out of some people. And the funny part was I got into so few fights too. It was just the fact that I looked big, mean, and scary. The buddy that I'm not naming ever, he was the real danger in a fight. And he was half my fucking size, but he was fucking trained. All I had was endurance. I could take a fucking beating until someone got winded enough that I could score a good hit and begin stomping them while they're on the ground.
I remember when we first talked, and you know, I was like, okay, this is someone cool. You know, you just come off as a cool person. You don't come off as a poser. You come off as someone who, yes, you might not want to mess with even today.
Well, you know, the whole thing is, you know, back when I was younger, yeah, I was trying to prove some shit. But, you know, even through some of my idiocy, I still attempted to be a little smart about it, you know, try to do things where I wouldn't go to jail.
Oh yeah, I mean, we never fought. It was. I mean, yes, we did things like if you said poser at a metal show, you were getting hustled out of there. We weren't. We wouldn't hit them or anything. We just drag them out of there. It was hilarious. It was a great way of getting rid of people you didn't like from the show if they were trying to talk to you or whatever. Because there are, you know, people who come up to you and try to talk to you who you don't want to talk to. So all you could say was poser, and they were gone. So, and then of course, the rumor started spreading that we kick your ass if you said poser. So even though we didn't do anything violent, we just basically carried them out of there. You'd see as soon as you said the word poser, you heard running footsteps of the person trying to run like hell away from. So we relied so much on our reputation and image that wasn't always, because we were basically just fun loving. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we you know, but yeah, there were a couple people in who you know kind of kept us out of sticky situations, and you know, because there were good gangs and there were the crazy gangs who wanted to prove something.
And, you know, when I was a kid, like I was saying, you know, there was something I wanted to prove just a little bit here and there. But as I got older, I started looking back at the crazy shit I did. I was like, I already fucking proved this shit. I don't need to prove shit to anyone anymore. When I fucking talk to metalheads, you know, I'll fucking sit there and spout some bands I listen to and shit, and bring up shit to prove, to say, hey, do you want to fucking bullshit with me? Yes or no? Because I know these bands. These are things I listen to.
Well,
And
that's what I do as well. I mean, with Scott, he kept listing out bands, good, gay, good, gay, good. He was reading off like Spotify or whatever, and I was like, good, gay, good. Oh, I've never heard that. Let's hear it. But yeah, I mean, I tried. I don't know if I'd say prove myself, but I do try to at least convey the image to metalheads because I am a serious metalhead. That this is someone who you could actually talk to. That's why, like I said, whenever we went to Metalgate, I didn't know if anyone was actually going to be as into metal as I was, or if it was just going to be Mason.
yeah, fuck.
And so when you started talking about, I, I don't even think you mentioned that many bands that night. It was basically just talking about Nazis and talking about how your ideas. And I was like, this is someone who, if he's not into metal, if he's not that into metal, he will be once. And oh, it turns out you are.
Yeah, old school death metal head, though. Most of what I knew were mainstream acts, with a couple from the underground. Not many. And then I got exposed to a shit ton more from the underground. I'm like, this is better.
Yeah, and then, I'm sitting there going, oh, check out Archgoat, check out, Goat Semen, check out.
And I was talking about fucking Goat Whore, Dorketta, and shit like that.
Which are good, yes. And I was like, oh, check out Demonic Christ. So we do it, and you introduced me to bands who I've heard of but never heard, like Death Yell, or I'm surprised I never heard Cancer before, actually. But I like them. But
things I find